10 unexpected things found in the ocean. From treasure to hidden cities, there have been many weird, bizarre, and indeed valuable things discovered at the bottom of the sea. Considering less than 10% of the ocean has been explored and studied by humans to date, it's no surprise that every now and then we stumble across something that can literally blow the socks off anyone. Welcome to Mind Read, where today we bring you a list of the top 10 unexpected things found in the ocean. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon to be notified every time we make a new upload. So, without further ado, let's get started. Number 10. An ancient computer. In 1900, something that was deemed the world's first computer was discovered in a 2,000-year-old shipwreck. The Antikythera device is an old Greek analog handheld machine, perhaps the first example of such an instrument, used centuries ago to forecast celestial movements and eclipses for calendar or astrological purposes. This device also records the 4-year cycle of competitive events, which was similar to an Olympiad, the cycle of the Olympic Games. Detailed imagery of the system shows that it had 37 gear wheels, allowing it to track the movements of the moon and sun through the zodiac, to predict eclipses, and even to model the irregular orbit of the moon, where the velocity of the moon is higher in its perigee than its apogee. Most notably, this was also used to monitor the Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and Saturn movements. It's pretty safe to say that humans thousands of years ago were just as much of tech enthusiasts as we are today. Number 9. Apollo moon rocket engines. During the late 1960s and early 1970s, multiple Apollo rockets were sent to orbit the Earth and Moon, and their engines that powered each of the boosters' first stages dropped to the ocean floor, believed to be lost forever. However, after lying on the ocean floor for more than 40 years, 2 Apollo rocket engines that helped deliver astronauts to the moon are once again seeing the light of day, thanks to Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos and his privately funded project. They've now been recovered. Discovered in 2012, the parts have undergone a 2-year renovation process and are now on display. It's not exactly known why Bezos would want to invest millions of his own dollars into funding this project, but some press has speculated that he did it simply because he could. It is still not known which exact missions these engines were used to fly in, as the original serial numbers on the objects are missing, possibly due to corrosion. Pulling the F-1 engines up was a tremendous engineering challenge. The team used remotely operated vehicles tethered with fiber optic cables to work in the black depths at the bottom of the Atlantic. After restoring the engines and stabilizing them to prevent further corrosion, Bezos hopes to display them at the Museum of Flight in Seattle, though the ultimate decision for where to put them will most likely involve NASA. Number 8. A GMC Ruins. Researchers from Greece and Sweden made one of the most important archaeological discoveries of the 21st century in 2015. Working south of Athens in the Bay of Callata, the team searched for fertile territory. The region is rich in archaeological sites, yet they could not have been trained for what they found. Starting with a few pottery pieces, the researchers discovered the remains of an entire abandoned town, one that had 12 acres of land. In addition to these structures, the archaeologists found paved surfaces that appear to be streets, as well as a wide array of pottery and stone tools. These include obsidian blades that the researchers say date to the Helladic period, around 3200 to 2050 BC, which archaeologists have divided into 3 phases. The big city dates from the Bronze Age, which dates back about 4,500 years and was evidently covered by a wall with protective tower constructions that had not yet been found in any other Greek location. More than 6,000 artifacts have been removed from the ruins of the ancient city. Further research revealed that the city existed about 1,000 years before the first great Greek civilization, known as the Mycenaean, which had been discovered by modern-day human beings. Though the full impact of the newly discovered city is yet to be determined, the researchers compared it in importance to the town of Lerna, located in the nearby Gulf of Nafplion. Mentioned in the Greek myth of Hercules as the site of Hercules' battle with the many-headed Hydra, guardian of the underworld, Lerna has long been used as a reference point for researchers because of the ceramics and architectural structures found there. Number 7. The Lost City of Dwarka. Dwarka is an ancient city in the northwestern Indian state of Gujarat. It's known as a Hindu pilgrimage site, but the Lost City of Dwarka is one of the few instances of folklore that can be verified verified as a reality. According to tradition, the Hindu god Krishna created the now famous city of Dwarka a long time ago. The city is holy in Hindu religion and is claimed to have been unprecedented in its majesty and splendor. Abundant in greenery, vegetation, and palaces. It was a utopia, that is, before the sea swallowed it up. The historical Dwarka was rightly long discarded as a mythical story, but in the 1980s, with the discovery of underwater ruins off the coast of modern-day Dwarka, people were forced to rethink that theory. Further explorations unveiled pottery that dates back to 3528 BC, and seals and inscriptions that can be traced back to 1500 BC. To a large extent, what's been traced up to now conforms to Dwarka's portrayal in the ancient scriptures. Number 6. Bimini Road, the Road to Atlantis. The Bimini Road, dubbed as the Road to Atlantis, is an underwater rock formation near North Bimini Island in the Bahamas. The road consists of a 0.8-kilometer-long northeast-southwest linear feature composed of roughly rectangular to sub-rectangular limestone blocks. The road rests on the seafloor about 18 feet below the surface. Set on a northeast-southwest line, the road runs straight for about half a mile before ending in a curving, graceful hook. Alongside the Bimini Road are two other smaller linear rock formations that appear to be similar in design. Once the road was identified, it was described as pavement by the divers who found it in 1968. Subsea archaeologists Joseph Manson Valentine, Jacques Mayol, and Robert Angove then identified that what they believed was a long continuous rock formation was in fact smaller stones arranged in a linear shape. As they took their discovery to other archaeologists, suspicion began to emerge that this path had not necessarily come about naturally. Given the road's location and its eerily perfect formation, many Atlantis believers and even a few archaeologists have suggested that this could be the road to Atlantis. But what do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Number 5. Emerald Treasure. This is the bizarre story of Jay Miskovich, who purchased a treasure map from a diver friend for $500 and eventually netted a treasure trove of more than 65,000 uncut emeralds, said to be worth hundreds of millions of dollars. His story was also featured on several TV shows and made international news. The treasure was found near the metal beams of a merchant ship that sunk during World War II. However, the emeralds were never listed as official cargo on the ship's manifest. However, the man wasn't lucky enough to enjoy the spoils of his latest adventure, and the news caught the attention of the federal government of the United States, who granted him only temporary ownership of the jewels, making him legally unable to sell them. This led to a series of strange events, and the man ended up in about $10 million of debt, with investors' money that helped him fund the recovery of all the pieces. Eventually, he was sleeping in a bunk bed in his friend's spare room and years away from cashing in on the bounty. Despite the estimated net worth of the treasures in multi-million figures, controversy started brewing. Unfortunately, drowning in debt and unable to profit from his treasure, Miskovich committed suicide in 2013. And who actually owns the treasure is yet to be settled in court. Number 4. An alien saucer? In 2011, Ocean X, a self-funded treasure hunter team, discovered the Baltic Sea anomaly. Found on the floor of the northern Baltic Sea, it is an unusually shaped rock structure that many have claimed resembles an alien saucer. Bearing a striking resemblance to Star Wars' Millennium Falcon, the Baltic Sea anomaly appears to be formed from pieces of angular metal, promoting claims that it's a crashed UFO. Other theories have been that it's the remnants of a World War II anti-submarine device, or even an underwater Nazi base. However, several scientists have claimed that, despite its weird appearance, it's likely just an unusual rock formation that good old Mother Nature created, and very unlikely to be man or alien-made. What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. Number 3. The ancient city of Alexandria. The ancient city of Alexandria, ruled by Egypt's last pharaoh Cleopatra, is almost perfectly preserved under the sea. Once among the greatest cities of the Mediterranean world and a center of Hellenic scholarship and science, Alexandria was the capital of Egypt from its founding by Alexander the Great in 332 BC until its surrender to Arab forces in 642 BC. It is believed that the city disappeared underwater due to a series of natural disasters, including tidal waves and earthquakes. Hidden for almost 1,600 years, it was rediscovered in 1998, and there have recently been plans to build underwater tunnels throughout the city, making it the world's first underwater museum. But if you're in a hurry, you can actually dive down to see what's left of Cleopatra's sunken palace under the Sea of Alexandria. Number 2. Blobfish. Modern and advanced diving technology has allowed us to dive and send cameras further down the ocean than ever before. And some of the weirdest discoveries have been some extremely strange-looking sea creatures. Just take a look at this aptly named blobfish. This fellow lives at the very bottom of the ocean and is usually only seen by humans when diving, or if accidentally caught in deep-sea fish nets. The strangest thing about the blobfish is that it looks very different when in the ocean. One can even say just like a regular deep-sea creature. However, once brought up to the surface, decompression damage causes it to take the most unusual shape. 2 years ago, the blobfish was voted the Earth's most hideous species in an online poll conducted by the British-based Ugly Animal Preservation Society. That's pretty harsh considering that it's an endangered animal and quite possibly at the brink of extinction. Number 1. The RMS Republic. The RMS Republic was a steam-powered ocean liner built in 1903 and lost at sea in a collision in 1909 while sailing for the United Kingdom. Some 570 feet long and weighing in at nearly 16,000 tons. RMS Republic was one of the largest, most sophisticated passenger vessels in service at the time. Like the Titanic, it was considered virtually unsinkable. It became the flagships of White Star's Boston Mediterranean route and was also used on the New York-Europe route, earning the moniker of Millionaire Ship for the number of wealthy passengers it ferried between the United States and various European ports. The locating and exploration of the RMS Republic's wreck in 1981 may not seem that weird, but the rumored treasure that could be lying at the bottom of the ocean definitely is. It is believed by many that the ship went down with many treasures that could be worth up to $1 billion today. One rumor is that she was carrying American gold coins of at least $250,000 worth, while another is that she was carrying coins worth $3 million as a secret international loan secured by France in order to pay back a debt to Russia's Tsar Nicholas II.